India-Russia bilateral is underway in Goa. India-Russia bilateral a day after this Kremlin attack. Latest coming in from the SCO summit in Goa. At the moment, the meeting is underway, and what we are picking up right now is that the India-Russia bilateral is underway a day after the Kremlin attack. The Kremlin attack happened yesterday, as you already know, and you can see on your screens at the moment that the India-Russia bilateral is underway. So the foreign minister counterparts of both the countries meeting at the moment. India is hosting SCO foreign ministers in Goa. Gaurav Sawant now joins us. Gaurav, what's the significance now, and what do you reckon would be discussed in the India-Russia bilateral? Because this is, of course, coming in after that Kremlin attack.
Chaiti, when it comes to India-Russia, there are multiple issues that the two strategic partners discuss bilaterally and also about the region and, of course, state of play between Russia and Ukraine. Now, this is a strategic partnership that has endured, but the fact also remains that this situation is increasingly pushing Russia closer in China's embrace, and that could be a cause for grave concern as far as India is concerned. India has benefited in the past several months of the cheap oil that we are getting from Russia, the discounted rates at which we are getting, and that's helped India. Apart from that, some of that oil is also now being re-exported to countries both in Europe and the United States of America. So there's also financial gain for India there. However, there is an apprehension that China would be acquiring a lot more of that crude oil, and that would make the situation a little tougher for India. Also, the fact that of the 5 S-400 systems, India's got delivery of 3. The delivery of the remaining 2, well, some say the schedule has been pushed to 2024. That would be a cause for concern, and India is also trying to ensure that India does get the S-400 deliveries. There are several other issues that are on discussion when it comes to bilateral issues. The spares of several components that India is looking at. The Russia-Ukraine war has impacted that, so India is also trying to see where you can get those spares to ensure that Indian defense systems continue to function and continue to function to their optimum given the situation. How can peace come about between Russia and Ukraine? Does India have a role there? What is it that Russia has to tell India about that? What is it that India will tell Russia? There are several aspects that would be on the table, including ensuring peace and tranquility at the line of actual control, where India wants to ensure all the weapons and systems are in place as contracted for in the S-400 deal between India and Russia, Chaiti.
So Russia clearly is rather a very important ally for India, and in the midst of what has happened yesterday and the overall war as well, will India's stance change as far as the bilateral is concerned, or would it remain consistent?
India's stance has always been consistent that peace between Russia and Ukraine will only come through dialogue. India's tried to nudge all stakeholders to try and arrive at that dialogue table, because war does not lead to any conclusion. Even if there is war, for peace you will have to have a dialogue. That's India's consistent stance. The fact that India has tremendous capital both with Russia and with Ukraine, and despite American and European pressure, India has withstood that pressure to choose sides. It's actually led to some very difficult situations at times, but now both Europe and the US realize the fact that India hasn't chosen sides gives India that commanding position to be able to talk both to Russia and to Ukraine from a position of strength in an attempt to get them on the dialogue table. The fact that whether it's Ukraine or Europe or America, they realize that President Putin does listen to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made it very clear this is not an era for war or conflict. Now, that gradual nudging towards dialogue, will that happen at the SCO summit in July or the G20 summit that will take place in September? Very crucial year, and India is the chair of 2 very crucial groupings this year, and it remains to be seen how best India leverages this to bring about peace between Russia and Ukraine and, of course, the region.